There is a famous saying, price is what you pay, but value is what you get. As consumers, as customers, as suppliers, all of us are looking for the value or the utility or the fair price that I should be willing to pay to acquire an investment, to acquire an asset, or what in my eyes that particular product, particular company, an asset, etc., is truly worth as compared to its market price. Well, I hope you got a hint. In today's video, we are going to talk about valuation as a career choice. I will be talking about what is valuation, the scope of valuation, what kind of job roles can you expect, the skill sets needed under valuation, how do you look for a role in valuation and financial modeling, who is eligible for such roles, etc. And still, if there are questions in your mind by the end of this video, do let me know in the comment section below. Also, stay till the end because I have something really interesting to share with all of you. So without any further ado, let us begin directly with what I have to show. Well, I have created a short presentation so that you can note down the important points and also not miss anything during the entire video. Well, so today, as I said, I will be talking about business valuation, everything that you need to know to ace that interview and be corporate ready. Also, if you have questions in mind that, मैं एक fresher हूँ, I do not have experience in valuation, do not worry because in today's video, I am also going to help you answer questions like if you are a fresher, how do you start or what is that one thing that you should start with to embark on this career path. So let's move ahead. Okay, so let me ask you a very important question. Let's say you want to buy one share of Reliance from the market. You are interested in the stock market and wish to pick up the stocks, the shares of Reliance because you feel that Reliance is a very fundamentally good stock and can offer good returns in the future. Well, so let me ask you, what is the price of Reliance? Let's take an example. Let's say that it's close to 2,600. Well, don't trust me. Go and check it on Google as well that what is the current price as on the date you're watching this video. Well, when we generally talk of the price of Reliance or rather any company, we consider or we generally talk about the trading price or the market capitalization. But are you really comfortable paying the trading price or the last traded price of that particular stock to acquire the shares of Reliance? Well, is this the right price? Valuation is a concept that answers these questions. It helps you figure out whether the price that an investor is willing to pay in the market is the fair price that he would be willing to pay considering the fundamentals of the company, the cash flows, what the comparable companies are doing, if there are any transactions that have happened in that industry, etc. Well, I am trying to focus and emphasize on the fact that there is a need to have an economy, industry, and a company analysis to begin with. Well, to summarize, valuation is the art of finding the fair price of a company. So what at all should you learn under valuation? I'll just quickly take you through this. So you should be comfortable making a complete valuation model of a company, which also requires a very strong Excel skill. It needs you to practice a lot of Excel regularly and build a financial model. So यहाँ पे दो चीजें हैं. One is you are very good with Excel. You are comfortable working with the functions and formulas of Excel. You know the shortcuts, and most importantly, you know the financial formulas and functions in Excel, such as NPV, IRR, FV, PV, discount rates, XIRR, etc. You should also be comfortable with the debt amortization schedule, with the financial statements of the business, such as income statement, balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. Also get comfortable analyzing the annual report of a company. Try to identify the qualitative and the quantitative factors that contribute to the company's revenue growth. To study valuation, you should primarily focus on four things: the revenue, the cost, the capex, and the opex. Can you let me know in the comments below what is OPEX and CAPEX? You have the financials and are able to study and, analyze the historical financials and see what the past performance of the business has been. You should also be in a good position to forecast the financials, which are based on a lot of assumptions. Which valuation method will you pick up will ultimately decide the assumptions and the following calculation of the fair value of the business. There are a lot of valuation methods which, as a joiner or as a new fresher, you should be very comfortable with, and you should have a good hang of what covers under what concept of valuation. Well, you should also be very good with the ratio analysis and also be able to answer questions like the free cash flow, what is the linking between the three financial statements, etc. Well, if I talk about the various types of valuation, as I said, the valuation can be performed you for any purpose. It could be a statutory requirement, it could be a voluntary requirement by the company. Under valuation, you could do it for the long-term performance basis, which is fundamental valuation, which involves you look at the historical numbers, you look at what the company's performance has been, and use appropriate assumptions to forecast the company's financials for the next 3 to 5 years. However, in technical valuation, you follow a past trend-based approach in which you look at the share prices of the publicly listed companies. You see the short-term view on how those trade prices have changed periodically. How will all of this help you? Video, or rather the course that I might come up with valuation in the future, will help you in bagging a job in these potential sectors. So if you have a good understanding of the valuation concepts, the corporate finance concepts, fundamental analysis, equity analysis, you can be, or you can enter areas in equity research, investment banking, M&A, valuation of the target company, private equity firms, consulting companies, asset management companies, and also, if interested, you can be an independent trader. So let me quickly talk about the valuation framework, which will help you guys build on these concepts eventually. First, you always start with understanding the business model. What does the company make? What are its products and services? Again, I emphasize on the fact revenue, cost, operating expenses, and capital expenses. A good understanding of these factors will help you build the model from scratch. You should be comfortable working with the historical financials, which means you should be able to read through the annual report of the company, the investor relations section on the company's website, and at the same time also take an analyst estimate review, or do or see what the analysts analysts are providing on the company, or what analysis or what forecasting they are doing with that particular company. Forecasting the financials will include the forward-looking financials. It will involve you to forecast the future and see what growth rates do you associate the company is expected to grow at. Well, this is the most important step, because this depends a lot on the valuer's judgment, and this part makes all the difference. The next step should be choose the appropriate valuation technique. You must have heard of the DCF approach. I am sure that you guys know what DCF is, especially if you come from commerce and finance background. DCF starts for discounted cash flow, which is an income approach, isn't it? But that is not it. Income approach, the cost approach, and the market approach consists of way more than DCF and relative valuation. It also consists of the transactions comparable approach. It consists of the replacement cost approach, relief from royalty method, etc. So get comfortable in knowing the various types of valuation techniques to begin a career in valuation. Well, the most important and yet the concluding element of a financial model is the sensitivity. The sensitivity is conducted to understand how would the share price change according to a variable. In this case, we could take the growth rate, the long-term growth rate, the WACC rate, etc. This is done to also understand the risk, to value the estimate, and for the decision-making purpose. So here we try to see that, let's say if my discount rate or the cost, which is WACC, was not 15, or rather 10 or 20, how would that change the entire enterprise value or the value of the firm? So I hope this short framework helps you understand where do you start and how do you proceed building on a model. So now I'm introducing the concepts of not just valuation, but also financial modeling. So let me spend 2 minutes here and talk about the skills needed. Again, talking about the most important skill you need as a valuation person is Excel. Excel is like the life and blood for a valuation person, because you cannot do without Excel. And if you do not have good speed working with Excel, somewhere you will feel that you are not able to perform the task well. So make sure that you are well equipped with the Excel formulas, etc. The next step is to have an analytical mindset where you are able to analyze numbers and draw conclusions from it, which means you should be able to take a decision basis your analysis and be in a position to compare what has happened in the current year with the previous year. So, well, communication skills, because it's very important to communicate the same to the end user and to your client, because he's the one who will only be interested to understand what has really been the analysis and not the numbers. He would be interested to know why something has increased or decreased and not how much it has increased or decreased. So I think I already talked about this in brief. The various valuation techniques include the income approach, the market approach, and the cost approach. Spend some time to understand these techniques in detail. Well, I have a short case study for you. You can pause the screen here, try to attempt this case study, and let me know in the comment section if you got this right. Well, I hope you will be spending some time after you watch this video to solve the case study and come back with an answer in the comments below. Meanwhile, I had some common questions that I frequently receive, and hence I want to address it here. I briefly talked about the skill sets needed to enter the finance industry, or particularly the valuation and the financial modeling profile, reiterating that these are some of the skill sets that you must prepare and have in your resume to make sure that you are shortlisted for a similar profile. The second question I receive is related to whether freshers or whether just BCom or graduates can enter in the valuation domain. Well, definitely being a fresher, you can expect to enter into valuation. However, valuation is a little complex world where a lot of number crunching is required, where a lot of analysis is required, and hence a postgraduate is generally preferred, and a lot of hiring is taken from the campus recruitments. However, if you have not got a chance to, appear for the campus recruitment and you are looking for an opportunity outside, then make sure you have done a few courses such as the company valuation and financial modeling course from Udemy. You have done a lot of CFI courses and have also built a few models voluntarily so that you can use them in your resume to show your work profile and portfolio and mention about the outcomes of the same at the time of your interview. However, if you are just a BCom or just a graduate with no professional experience, or rather no course or certificate that you have done and have no intentions of doing a post-graduation degree, then I will suggest you start your career with a profile other than valuation. And after 1 year of you working somewhere else, you can always come back, use that experience and grab a job in valuation. Also, a lot of you ask me on how do we find a job in valuation, or what are the various keywords, or what are the skill sets that are needed. Excel being the most important. After that, your communication skills, your presentation skills, your analytical skills, decision making skills are some of the skills needed. Technical skills, a good understanding of the financial models, the concepts, the valuation methods. Why is valuation done? The purpose of valuation. If you know about the in-depth of different techniques through which valuation is done, you should be good with the concepts like beta, WACC, what is goodwill impairment, purchase price allocation, the tangible valuation, the real estate valuation. So a lot of questions in the interviews revolve around these concepts. The best starting point to embark on a journey in valuation and modeling is to start with the financial statement analysis. As I repetitively talked about the importance of studying or analyzing the historical numbers and forecasting them for the future, it is important you understand that you need to be very well versed with the various components of these financial statements and their nature, whether they are short-term, long-term, whether they are a part of the CAPEX or OPEX, whether it's an operating revenue or a non-operating revenue, etc. Once you're comfortable with the financial statement analysis, then you move ahead and go and build equity research reports. Once you've done that, then you start on understanding the valuation techniques, build a DCF model, try and see relative valuation, try and study the industry, different industries, and see how the peers or the comparables are estimated in those industries. So these are some of the examples of the skill sets that I would say you should be good at. Moving ahead, let me just walk you through one of the articles again to show you what the analyst is and what the valuation analyst duties look like. So I've used the reference as Indeed, one of the portals in which you can fetch a job similar to this role. Well, if I move up, then a valuation analyst is generally expected to do a lot of financial statement analysis. He is responsible to build data books. He's responsible to build WAC schedules. He's responsible to do a lot of research. So research the financial performance is the first duty of the valuation analyst, in which they often spend a lot of time on the research databases such as Capital IQ, Thomson Reuters, Refinitiv, etc. Then you also should be in a comfortable position on estimating how do you determine a company's worth or the value of the firm, the factors that will eventually contribute to its entire value. It could be the market cap, it could be the leverage position, it could be the amount of cash, the amount of surplus investments that are there in the business. Do you agree? Also, moving ahead, you should be able to calculate an organization's share, the market multiples, the relative multiples such as EPS, the price to earnings, price to sales, EV upon sales, EV upon EBITDA, EV upon EBIT. So you should know the difference between EBIT, EBITDA, etc. A valuation person, or rather a corporate finance professional, should be able to identify the risks associated to the business, the abnormal risk, the market risk, the market volatility affecting the market, if there is any other industry constraints that are expected to harm the business or the industry. Executing the business valuations using the valuation methods, and hence a good understanding of the valuation methods. Company's capital structure, or the WACC, which is called the weighted average cost of capital, and also considers the cost of equity and the cost of debt. Hence, the KPM model, or the methods of calculating these sources. You should be able to perform a lot of data mining. You should be able to present the same to the senior management. Hence, communication skills is the most important element out of all. And needless to say that, yes, it has to be your confidence. So no matter what, keep learning, keep growing, and keep a confident face, keep a smiling face, and embark on this journey with me, where I am there to help you guys start a career in financial modeling, valuation, equity research, fundamental analysis. All you have to do is take the first step. Let me know if this video helped you, and what additionally would you like me to cover in the upcoming videos. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for watching.